Hello and welcome to Perspectives, where we take a deep dive into the issues of the day and where we take a look at people's opinions on such issues. I am Ruth Osime. Welcome back to Perspectives here on Arise News. It's always fascinating to explore the differences between genders. Let's face it, no matter what anyone says, men and women are similar, but yet so different. There's a book on this that says men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Traditional gender roles dictate that the man goes out to work and bring home the bacon, while the woman is left to run the home. Men are supposed to be tough and strong. They cannot cry. They must provide and protect, achieve and perform. Women, on the other hand, are meant to adopt specific actions, attitudes, and roles that society deems proper. The pressure on both genders to fit into this norm can sometimes result in anxiety and feelings of inadequacy. For some who refuse to adhere to these dictates, the world is becoming progressively frustrating and confusing. But for others, staying true to their authentic selves is a liberation. We're heading for a short break, but stay with us because right now we will get to meet our guests. Stephanie Kadiri, CEO of Steph Red, TV show host and compare, Laide Oropo, and production executive and entrepreneur, Joseph Edgar. Perspectives will return in just a moment. Welcome back to Perspectives here on Arise News. At this point, we have the pleasure of ushering our special guests, starting with Stephanie Kadiri, the CEO of Steph Red, a trained linguist, human resources professional, certified life coach, and cognitive behavioral therapy practitioner. Stephanie is a transformational speaker with an audacious knack for making people laugh, even at their insecurities, and offers them the opportunity to rise above and thrive despite them. Her philosophy is never give up until you win, and at the worst, finish strong. We're also being joined by Laide Oropo, a public speaker, TV host, show host, MC, and compare. Laide has been described as unconventional, a truth talker with a gift of the gab and a quick wit. She brings a refreshing perspective to conversations addressing the men are from Mars, women are from Venus topics that have plagued us since the beginning of time. And on this topic, the guest lineup cannot be complete without Joseph Edgar, popularly known as the Duke of Shomolu, arguably one of the most incisive salespeople in Nigeria today, with over 22 years investment banking career and another 7 years producing some of the most engaging stage productions. Edgar has built a very powerful and pragmatic network of contacts and associates made up of over 10,000 people, including some of the most influential and powerful Nigerians in a very colorful and exciting working career. It's a great pleasure to have you both, all of you, all three of you, on Perspectives today. This is very interesting. You were already laughing. Before we even started conversation, I don't begin laugh. Anyway, let's start with you, Edgar, because you are the bane of this conversation. You said men want to be heard, but most women don't listen. What do you mean by that?
First of all, let me announce that in trying to push our agenda very strongly, I've been celibate for the past 1 week.
Oh, are we supposed to clap for that?
Thank you. Wow.
So celibate for 1 week is actually that big a deal?
It affected my voice. It gave me a small headache. And
you can't be serious.
Menopausal symptoms.
Yeah, actually.
What?
Exactly.
I woke up nauseous.
Okay.
Because you chose
You woke up nauseous because you have been celibate for 1 week?
Yes. So I might not be at my best.
No, you have to.
He has no release.
Is that as a result of us not listening?
He hasn't had a release.
No, so basically, most women, because I've been accused of generalizing. Do you get? So that's where women go to hide to defend themselves. So most women just don't listen to men. And because they don't listen to men, do you get? We run into all of these crevices that's happening in society.
Do men listen to women?
So men try to talk, but women don't listen. Women have verbal power. Men do not have physical power. So on every one word a man wants to say on whatever the issue, the woman comes at him with 20. And what the man does, what the man will do is one or three things. Keeps quiet, you get, walks away, you get, or gets aggressive. You get, because he's not being heard. And then when you're not being heard, you get, you internalize. And when you internalize, you now start having psychological emotional problems. And in some cases, it runs to health problems. And that's why you see that the mortality rate for the average Nigerian man today is 55. Women are the main cause of that thing.
Do you have that statistic?
Yes.
55?
Yes.
What do you have to say to that,
So
Stephanie?
when you say that women do not hear you, what are you anticipating to get from
I want
being
to
heard?
have a rational conversation with a woman, no matter what the issue is.
And at some point, you are not able to have that because...
At most points, you can't have that because most women come from here, not from here. Most women come from here, not from there. So there's an issue either on the children or on the job or something. Do you get me now? And the woman goes into a rant. Or even if she doesn't go into a rant, she's having conversations with you that are quite emotional.
So she's having those conversations.
Let me give you a small example.
Okay.
Very quickly now. Very small example, very quickly now. Now, I have a son whose mother passed. Now, all my children do 1 year gap year.
Okay.
So after secondary school, they stay at home for 1 year. So that I can look for the money, send them to school.
Discover themselves.
No, there's no money to send them to school.
Okay.
Do you get? So now, because this one's mother passed, do you get? His gap year is starting now. His auntie says he must go to school this September. I say I don't have the money. Do you get? He must do that 1 year like every other person. Do you get? And then she comes at me with all sorts of emotional conversation. What will people think? If my sister was alive today, will she take? That is not the issue. The issue here now is that there is a trend where everybody must in my household, in my household, everybody must follow.
Who do you find the trend?
I, as a father, so all three have gone through the same route, and they are doing well. One is in US, one is in Canada, one is in UK. So this is your own turn now. You must stay that 1 year. So don't tell me.
You knew that year was coming.
Yes, no. So don't tell me because his mother has died. That's an emotional argument.
So
and then
she
guess what?
aware of the trend.
Yes, and then guess what? Every woman in this conversation has told that line. Every man.
When it gets to their turn.
No, has told her line. So her sisters, her friends,
everybody has
they all support
all the women as well as this.
Okay.
And then every man have Edgar stand tall. Don't listen. Because you say your children went to school, but your children went to school and dollar was 300. This 1,600 is a different dynamic entirely. Are you hearing me now? So men don't get heard.
And women talk too much.
Women talk too much. And then when you don't get heard, do you get me now? You do one of those three things. And that's why some men like me have achieved freedom. We have moved. I'll still keep quiet now. We have moved. No, I'll still keep quiet now. Let me make this one last statement. Let me one last statement, please. I'm making no just guys. Men have moved from original bondage of childhood. You're under the control of your parents, your mother, which is okay to a large extent, to bondage of marriage.
What, you see marriage as a bondage?
So
Yes,
the thing is,
today. Modern day marriage.
Right.
Today.
Edgar, just
Can I
to give a
ask him
different...
very
Sorry, just
Ask
to
me,
give
I'm
a different
ready.
The year was
perspective.
coming up though.
I'm ready.
Okay, but just to give a different perspective
I'm
to
ready.
that, what is the possibility that also she feels on her? Because I have heard some women who say,
Of course,
men don't
most women
listen.
too feel that they're
So
on
the
heard.
thing now is, at the base of this is communication, and the communicating. There's a way you want to be heard as a man. There's a way a woman wants to be heard. The issue now is,
Has he listened
is she
to the woman?
aware
Have
of
you
how?
seen-
No,
have you
hold on,
seen a woman-
Edgar. Is she aware of how you want her to
Have
hear
you seen a woman in full-blown rant?
Hold on.
you
I've
seen
seen a woman in
action?
full-blown
You are
rant.
getting
The
emotional.
thing now,
Huh?
thank you.
You're
So
getting
yeah,
emotional.
so
I'm
this
emotional
is
because
Edgar,
people are
wait.
defensive.
There's something that people say, and this is something I hear often when we say men are rational, women are emotional.
Fact.
All human beings are emotional. Because hold
Exactly.
on, because when we were born, the first thing you did as a baby, Edgar, was cry.
I see the cry to tomorrow.
Exactly. The first thing every
No, I see
baby
cry,
does
no
at birth is cry. Children's emotional brains are from ages 0 to 18. Your emotional brains act first. So we are all emotional beings.
Can I ask one question?
However, we operate, it now depends on how emotionally intelligent we have become to choose our emotions. So men typically express based on what I've heard many men, collection of men say, men typically express 4 kinds of emotion: anger, fear, sadness, and shame. It's now to find out which of
Which
these.
men?
Okay, wait. It's any of the things.
The educational
Okay,
aspect of it.
so which of these emotions now is what she's doing, triggering?
So men don't show
Hold
any
on.
positive emotion. Sorry.
Hold on now. I'm not talking. Okay, let me talk about emotions that hit you negatively. I'm not talking about the positive emotions now. Let's talk about the emotions that hit you negatively: anger, fear, shame, and sadness. And these
Not
are
me,
things.
not
Okay,
me,
maybe
man.
not be you, but these are things that probably a woman will now trigger when you say she's not listening to you. The thing now is,
don't give us.
is she aware?
She's giving us the academic
Hold on.
side of
Yeah, even if you want to call it academic side, if I say academic side, is
get you,
she
Edgar.
aware? Is she aware? Because I believe it takes 2 to tangle. Many
but I think
times
the
we are
woman
at
will be
each
aware.
other. Many times we are at each other, but I do not know what you
Okay,
want.
but let
You
me
don't
ask you
know
one
what I
question,
want.
Stephanie.
Yeah.
Who is the weaker sex?
I don't
between
think
the
any
men and the
sex is
women?
weak.
It's today.
I don't
Man
hold
is the
on.
weaker
No,
sex.
okay,
Quote me.
Edgar, hold
Today.
on.
Okay, but why do you
Edgar.
say that?
And I'll explain to you. That's what Ruth, I told her. I said, let only me come this talk. So that
No,
I
only you
can
come.
no, so I
Have
can
a
talk
fair-
for men. People should allow me
Okay.
talk for men. Because we are angry. I'm angry. Do you get
Why are you angry?
Men today is the weaker sex in Nigeria.
Okay, so can I just respond to why I believe that both sex have weaknesses and
No,
strengths?
you have to ask me.
Everybody has
no,
sex
ask
and
me-
weaknesses. Hold on.
ask me
That
why.
question was
no.
that
Stephanie,
question was
let me
directed
ask
at
you.
me.
Ask me
Hang on,
why
hang
I say
on.
man
That
has the
question
weaker
was
sex.
directed
Hang
Which
on,
question
hang
in
on,
particular?
hang on.
Let me ask me
Hang
why
on. Let's
man
talk-
is the weaker sex.
Let's talk turn by turn, Edgar, because otherwise it'll be too rowdy.
Okay.
Laide hasn't spoken.
And I don't like to shout because my voice
I've not
doesn't
responded
carry.
to the question I was asked.
What question were you
Well,
asked?
who's the weaker sex? He said there's no
And I
weaker
said I don't
sex.
believe any. There's a reason.
I mean, I
to
said
that.
man is the
I don't
weaker
believe-
sex.
No, you're saying man is the weaker sex.
But I have to
believe-
explain it before men kill
Okay,
me.
so let me
Let me
explain.
explain why I say
Let
man
me
are the
also
weaker sex.
explain why I say that there's no weaker sex. Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, but I believe that it is perception. We have a perception that makes us feel women are weak or that men are weak because of something. Particularly when it comes to the issues of, emasculating men or something. When I feel, okay, a man is weak in this regard. But if we hold on to, Edgar, you have your strengths and they're beautiful. I may not know them, but the people that know your strength will think you are the best thing that happened after sliced bread.
Miss Ruth.
In the same way, you also have weaknesses, but then if we're able to look more at people's strengths
let's hear
and not
Laide.
at people's weaknesses, we will have less conflict.
Let's hear Laide's view.
I like Stephanie a lot because she's going academic. You know, it's almost like we're trying to inform you. I like speaking layman's English
Okay, so tell
and layman's understanding. I don't need to give you statistics because I've lived my life as a man, a woman, and everything else. When Edgar is talking about this, yes, as in, when Edgar is talking about this, and please let me finish.
Yes.
The point he's making is, in my household, whether mommy was alive or not, this is how we always did things, right? Madam, don't come and say it's because his mom is dead that we're stopping him from, or we're insisting that he must do a gap year. On her own point, you knew this year was coming up, didn't you know? And so this 1 year that you need to raise the funds, you could have done it last year because you knew the year was coming up.
No, you're not getting me.
No, I get you about, I'm just arguing
No,
for
this
and
is
against.
wrong.
No, I'm saying, you knew. No,
No.
let me finish now, let me finish.
Okay, finish.
You said that in our house, everybody takes a gap year.
Yes.
Assuming Pikin say, I don't want gap year. The point I'm making is that you knew 2024 was meant to be the gap year, and 2025 is when he's meant to go to school. You could have saved the money. That's what I'm saying. That you could have saved the money because the year was going to come
No.
up for her own arguments. Now, she doesn't
for her
have...
argument.
For her argument.
Okay.
For her argument. When the year was coming up, and if the child decides, I don't want a gap year, you can't insist.
Now you go pay.
It's not a matter of pay or no pay. I'm just saying, for the mental health of children as well, you may have a rule in your house. If it doesn't suit me, it doesn't suit me.
Okay.
So this, the part where this thing now, because there's several stakeholders in this, since we're now talking about Edgar's situation. Yes. And of course, he doesn't want to, the thing is, if he switches, he rocks the boat. And then it could affect many other things.
God bless you.
The issue, however, There are several stakeholders, and it all comes down to communicating what you want to do. The stakeholders are the mother. Now, if at any point she feels, it has reached her turn, and she wants to, Auntie, I beg your pardon. If it has reached my turn and she wants to rock the boat, then you go back to the table of discussion to say, no, this is why. And the child as well, because they may not understand. Now, there's a burden of responsibility on you as a man to do certain things. And then you have to do it according to your structure. However, there are people that it may affect. The ability to just communicate it and tell them, this is why, would also help them take a better posture to support what you need to do so that you're not under the pressure.
Okay, let me ask Linda. Sorry, Laide.
Now, Laide, this Linda.
Do you think when men cry or express their feelings, they are perceived as weak?
Yes.
You know? But when it's much more, it should be encouraged because people should be able to talk about feelings. So is it wrong or right to perceive men as weak when they cry?
I think it's wrong.
It's absolutely.
And see, Stephanie, it's my question.
Nami
won't talk now. I think it's wrong for you to judge anybody's emotions. Like I say, because I have two young adults, a man and a woman, as children. I'm experiencing life from two different perspectives. And I'm more objective because I'm a mother to these two people. As opposed to if I only had girls, I could feel very exclusive that men are just being weak by crying. Yeah. You need to be able to release. And you need to be able to release in a safe place.
Release what?
Emotions. And if it leads to tears, please let them flow. But express what it is and where the pain is coming from. I don't think anybody is weak. But I wouldn't want my man to cry in the wrong place. There's a wrong place and there's a right place to cry.
That's also
Imagine
in terms and conditions for how to cry.
Even as a woman, I can't be in a boardroom and be crying.
Okay,
as a woman. So a man, I can't have an over-emotional man. There's a right place as man and woman for everybody to express emotions.
True.
So, just to puncture that a bit, is there a right place for something to happen to you? Is there a right and a wrong place for something to happen to you?
Yes.
Okay, yes. There's a right and a wrong place.
Of course.
Oh, so if something happens...
You have to be specific about what you're really asking.
Okay, so if, for example, something happens, God forbid, something just comes and hits Edgar right now very hard, and he can't express emotion because is it a right place or a wrong place for him to feel hurt? Is there a right or a wrong time? Is there a right or a wrong time to grieve? Is there a right or a wrong time to feel pain?
Yes, there is a right time and a wrong time.
Okay, so there are
but when it comes to grief,
to
you cannot time anybody.
Exactly.
But when it comes to let's not start going off tangent and missing the goalposts.
Just putting everything in context about men crying, and because you can't beat a child and tell the child how to cry. You can't hurt someone and tell the person how to cry or how not to cry.
The topics we're going off topics.
Yes, let's not go off topic. I think what Laide is trying to explain is that there's strength in men being able to cry.
Absolutely.
Because society dictates you're not supposed to cry, handle like a man, blah, blah, blah. So with modern times now, people are able to express themselves, especially men.
Yes.
And it's not perceived as weakness when a man does cry.
If a man cries
that's awesome. It's just the aspect.
But you cannot really say, because that doesn't mean that if he's watching football now at the bar and his team loses, he starts to cry. No. Pain is pain.
If
as a man, he will not cry in public like that.
I feel honored that he was able to express that vulnerability.
If he's comfortable enough.
I think there's a wrong place for, it's not everywhere.
There is a wrong place to cry, but
you just gave an example now. Watching football at the bar with his male friends.
You can cry.
They can actually cry. There are people that cry.
No, listen.
On my chest.
His team now loses. You can't exactly start crying over there where all the men are around you. But if you are with your wife or your girlfriend or your partner and something happens,
you bet money and you just lost it.
Yes,
you can express that.
How about Ronaldo that cried on the pitch when he lost the match? Was that?
But that was a very emotional moment.
It wasn't wrong.
It wasn't wrong.
Invested in the team. It is lively.
Anyway, let's not debate. Let me ask Kolakbo. I said Edgar, Joseph Edgar, another question. Emasculation of men. Do you think feminism is making men lose their masculinity? And what should the man do?
Feminism is...
If he feels emasculated.
It's even a negative for women in this our society.
Why do you say that?
So, because you see, it causes confusion amongst women. Makes them feel that they are in a certain role that they were not prepared for, either biologically or by training. You get me now? So at the end of the day, you now see that confusion when they get to that point. I don't know about young ladies of nowadays, but young ladies of this our generation, you were brought up differently. You were brought up to understand that understand that the man is your king. You understand?
But don't you have to earn it first before this man?
No, that's what I'm telling you, that biologically, as a child, when your mother-in-law comes to bath the baby girl, the baby boy, I've seen many times, they will tell me, this is my son. He go show me women. He go show women. Everybody's happy, everybody's proud. But nobody comes and says, this is my daughter, I go show women. Go show men. I mean, do you understand?
But women choose when they want to do the feminism
from God bless you. Yeah. From birth. Do you get me now? So as the children are growing up, they are buying football gun for the boy, they are buying baby girl for the girl. Do you get? As they are continuing, they say, go to the kitchen to help your mother, go and wash your daddy's car. Do you get me now? Then finally the girl gets married. Now she goes through that humiliation of African marriage. It's a humiliation to me, where you are traded like a product. Whatever anything you want to call it, that thing they call dowry is paid for. They say, show me your husband. Show me your husband. You say we carry cup and be going up and down. They sit on your father-in-law leg. They carry you. They carry you like a product. Do you get me now? And then that money, enter my house, you say we are equal. Something wrong with your head.
No, but what if the woman is the one paying?
Earning as well. This is where it changed.
No, hold on. Calm down. The woman, my mother paid the bills. My mother paid the bills. My father lost his job for 7 years. My mother paid the bills, all of our school fees. Do you get me now? But she knew her place.
Because daddy had invested.
What do you mean by her place? So are you saying now that in today's times, forget about our mother.
In today's time, women don't know their place. You guys can abuse me as you like. You want to abuse me now.
No, but what triggers it?
Honest God truth.
But what triggers it?
What triggers it is a confusion.
Where is the pain?
And I will tell you. And I will tell you. You ask me a question. Let me answer now. You know, is it my fear? My problem is that if you guys don't let me make my point, do you get me now? The Twitter people, the social media people are watching this thing. We come after me. Let me make my point. Okay. You see, the woman's place in society, in a family, is behind the man.
Yes.
The woman is below the man. I must be below the man. Yes. The moment I pay your dowry, you are my wife.
But what if the woman is playing your role as a man?
If the man plays my role, that's what they say.
The woman is playing the role as a man.
Ruth, you're a Christian. That's what they say. A woman is a helpmate. The woman is a helpmate. Okay,
so the woman pays all the bills.
Edgar.
She pays the school fees. She pays the rent.
It's not a problem.
They don't add a dime. And then you want to be making.
My mother did all of that and still kneel down to give my father food to eat.
Me. May I?
Okay, wait.
I don't think it's even about.
This one because you don't pay house rent of you pay house rent. You know you talk pay house rent of 1 month. 1 month.
No. Let me tell you what it is.
You go with your school fees.
Okay, Edgar, let me speak now. I'm a woman. I'm speaking behind you.
That's why I celebrate.
Back in the day,
that's why I celebrate.
We don't need you for this thing.
We're taking back our power.
We don't need you for this thing. So stay celibate. Back in the day, when we didn't have all this colonialism, right? It was taken that men were the providers. Men are meant to provide, protect, and profess. So we stayed at home to be homemakers. And men used to, that is what changed. Then we got to a level where evolution came, everybody had to go out and work. So if I'm putting half and you're putting half, this is where women started arguing about, you can't come and be lording things over me because what you are claiming to that makes you a man is, me too, I'm doing it. We're even doing it half and half. I married a man that used to bring jerry can and say, you go and bring your contribution for a generator, and this is my contribution. We will argue like men when we're arguing because now I'm acting like a man. But the way we were raised aside, as a woman, personally, as someone with female genitalia, I still believe that men are supposed to be above me.
Okay, can I?
That's what the problem is.
Okay, so just put a bit of context to that, right?
God bless you.
Okay. I believe strongly that men are the head.
God bless you.
However, there are roles, and those roles require persons to fill them. There are roles that a man cannot take. So, just like you said, I believe that the man is supposed to be the protector, the provider, the projector, the professor.
Yes.
And the woman is supposed to be the vision carrier. The man brings the seed. The woman takes the seed and turns it.
What do you mean vision carrier?
Hold on. The man brings the seed. So what men bring are seed. Without, there's no farmland without a seed. So that means as the root of society is the man. And the society fails is because there are no men holding it. Because there's no more seed. Now, this idea of what we call women now playing roles, really began to happen after the First World War, if I'm not mistaken, where many of the men went to war and many died at war, and women were left alone to run homes. That was when suddenly the woman realized she needed to step in to do what the men could do and realize that, oh, I can do this and I have the capacity. And if, for example, so the thing is, they had come into a fullness of themselves to now ask themselves, do I really need to do this? Now, there's still the place of respect and submission. Yes, respect regarded and submission. Nevertheless, I do not agree that the woman is below the man because we're all created equal. However, there is regard and respect. The man, the only people below, because the only people below the human race are animals.
Stephanie,
the only people, there's one human race and then there are animals. The only people below the human race are animals. However, even in the animal kingdom, there is order. In the human kingdom, there is order. The order now will be man, woman, family, because there has to be an arrowhead. The man not necessarily meaning that the woman is below.
Why are women complaining?
We are not, no, it's not when I say obeying the rule, I'm simply speaking to the fact that women are not below.
Let's go on a break.
The fact that we have order and structure does not mean one person
This is very
Animals
interesting.
are better than
Can we just go on a break first?
Yes,
and then we'll come back and continue with this. As you can see, we have a very, very vibrant morning, very debate this morning. So we're going on a break right now and see you right back soon on Perspectives. Welcome back to Perspectives. Laide, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
We've argued back and forth about who should be, whether a woman should be beside a man or under a man or whatever. If we can argue that all day and never finish, because there's despairing views on this matter. But do you believe all women should know a way to make their men yield to their demands?
A wise woman should.
A wise woman should know.
Not all women have that wisdom and the discernment to know the right time to present a matter, the right circumstances to present a matter. You could get almost anything you want from a man. You could have a man eating out of the palm of your hand if you know how to play the game. That's why they say she get my mumu body, she get my pin number. Because when a woman studies a man, her man, like that song that they sang back in the day, no gain, no pain, no gain. You study your man, you know what he likes. I come home, I don't want to talk to anybody for the first 30 minutes. If you have an Oropo like me, who likes to talk, I will have to curb myself for that kind of man because I know he will still hear me talk, but not just yet. If I don't learn that lesson, anything I say will just fall off. And he will never assimilate anything
So
I
in other
say.
words, stoop to conquer, basically.
No, it's not even a stoop. Study.
Study to conquer.
Study to conquer.
Yes, that's a better phrase.
Study to conquer.
That's a better phrase.
Strategize.
But let me ask you, Stephanie, do you think some women of today are quite unrealistic with their expectations from their supposed ideal men?
100%. 100% because, and I believe it is one of the influences of the media, of Hollywood, because there's now this idea of a Prince Charming, an idea of what a man is. And even all the cartoons and the movies we watch, it's always they lived happily ever after. They never tell us what happened in the course of their living happily ever after. And the demands, and one of the questions I like to ask when I hear women bring up these demands, I say, okay, now that you're placing these demands, if he in turn places his demands on you, can you meet it?
What are you bringing to the table?
So when you see, so it's both ways. What are you bringing to the table? What am I bringing to the table? But the demand now is for the man to bring stuff to the table. When he now asks what you can bring to the table, the question is, can you meet it?
Just a pretty face.
Yes, just a pretty face. And there has to be much more value than that because, of course, there's a goal for your coming together in the first place. So what sustains it after he has brought all that to the table? So that you don't become an object.
Edgar, I want to ask you, because I know in one of your articles, you said if a woman slaps you slap the woman back.
It's the right time and the right place to slap a woman back. Is what he's trying to say.
I have
that most men will physically assault a woman if she attacks them first. But is there any justification for physical violence?
For that, I'm not talking for men. Because
You're talking for yourself.
I'm talking myself.
Okay, yeah, but is there justification for physical violence?
Okay, I'll tell you something. In that article too, I wrote there. I said one of the greatest evil statements ever made against men or man is that statement that says there is no justification for hitting a woman. Now, what that statement does...
But you're stronger. Why would you...
No, I'm coming and let me land.
Okay, go on.
What that statement does is that it removes the burden. Do you get me now? The burden of asking the trigger.
Yeah.
What made that man slap you from the whole equation.
Absolutely.
So in most cases, it now removes consequences on the action of the woman. So the woman now leaves that scenario, do you get me now? Feeling victimized, feeling entitled. And then to now make matters worse for men, social and legal institutions now support the woman. You cannot win case against one of a police station, no. It's not possible. Let me land though. There's nothing a man will say in police station. If you go to police station, it has happened to me many times. It has happened to me many times.
Have you hit people many times?
I've been hit in marriage.
Don't push me to social
And I still don't.
You know
Let
me.
me speak
You know
on
what
their-
I
on
can do
their
and what I
behalf.
cannot do. You get me now?
Go,
But you see, when you go to police station, they say, Oga, what is the problem? What happened? Oga will say, on Monday morning at 6 p.m., do you get me now? I was reversing the car at ABCDF. You get me now? He's running, that's the woman jumping in now. And then in the woman's submission, she's adding a lot of emotion. He's crying. I even had 3 children for him. I even have a CS. I say, do you get me now? You know, and instantly, the policeman, everybody changed. Let me tell you one of my most grievous experiences in this matter. I had a problem with my wife. And yeah, it got physical. And you know, it was very terrible because she was abusing my mother.
Wow.
Do you get? And I kept telling her, I said, look, now me offend you.
Stick.
Do you get?
This
Anything you want to call me. She used to like to call me Okponu, and that used to pain me. When she call me Okponu, I would just be like a earthworm. I don't know, it's a Yoruba word.
Okponu is like
you know,
someone who
so
just...
I used to be like earthworm. I would just be doing like this because I cannot hit. I've been knocking my head on the wall. You know, so
Literally?
Yes. So I said, baby girl, call me Okponu, but leave my mother
out of our arguments.
You know, and then every time there's a fight, you call my mother, so of course I got physical. You get, after a period, I give a headbutt.
Because you lost control.
So when I give a headbutt, I lose control. Everybody now came to settle the matter. The mama where I this fight for. that's the point of clannishness now. The mama where I say I'm fighting for.
Yeah.
He looked at me and say, are you mad?
Because she doesn't want you to make a mistake of killing someone.
No, hold on now. Are you mad? Woman that born for you. That have CS for you? Are you crazy? My mama slapped me. So I walk out of that. Imagine how do you get me now? I cry. This cough, you're crying like this now. I cry from betrayal.
Can I have a piece of tissue?
I cry from
I'm touched. Edgar's gone through a lot.
1 second. I'm begging you just rest. You see? Mama, he slapped me. So
say woman will get CS for you.
See, I said,
major sacrifice.
But don't go marry now. If as a man, I won't cry.
Get us tissue.
So I walk away. I have been betrayed.
By both wife
and mother. I feel humiliated because every woman in that place supported
the woman
and my mama. Are you getting me now? So every time, let me tell you one statement now. All of you listen to me. All the women in Nigeria listen to me. Listen to me carefully this statement now. Every time a man walks away,
let him go.
You have lost that man. You have lost that something. That man has died.
Yeah.
It will better that man slap you than for him to walk. I'm telling you. See. Every time a man
because them slap me
walks away, except you know the man again, no, something in that man has died.
But what about every time you yourself offend her? What about when a woman walks away?
God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Wait, I'm coming. God bless you. See, let me tell you something.
Because you seem to forget what is it that has triggered that
let me explain to you.
Some things
one of the most impossible things you can have, one of the most impossible things you can do in this world as a man is to try to have a conversation with a woman who is upset. Most men are ready to apologize. Most men are ready to do everything possible. Are you getting me now? Yes. But the woman will drag it. Then she will not dovetail into nothing. She can say that nothing for 3 weeks. Now, depending on the patience of the man, if the man don't beg, go. You don't go come, Wala will come, beg. You call chairman of street, come, beg. You get me now? So women, let us advise women. Do you get me now? Let us advise women. Men have their problem.
Let us advise. Speaking about women advising themselves. Speaking about women advising themselves, I wanted to just buttress what he said. I'm a part of a group where they were talking about also this same thing of domestic violence and how somebody in the group then said, even if men should understand that we women are emotional, so even if we slap you out of emotion. That is wrong. There's no justification for that. So there's no way. I believe it is an insult. Thank you. It is an insult to us as women to keep saying that we're emotionally imbalanced. And we have to come to that point where we are able to tame our emotions. We're not children. Men are not supposed to have their emotions together while we don't. So we can now slap me and ask. So it's a note to self. So we use it. It's manipulative, and manipulation is equivalent to witchcraft. It's manipulative to say I am emotional. So if I slap on you and spit on you, you should understand. Forgetting that he's a human being and he has emotions. So it is bad behavior to not be able to curtail self and say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. I also need to walk away. If I want him to walk away, I need to be able to walk away, and if we can have a discussion, because the thing is, communication never happens when there are exchange of emotions, where there's heated emotion. Because what I will never hear your reason, I will only hear your emotion, and it will make me put up a defense. So many times as women, we are communicating emotion, not communicating reason, so they can't hear. We now have to train ourselves to communicate reason, and we can't keep giving the excuse of I am a woman, and then we're making men go down the cliff.
But there are certain times when sometimes the man is just a bully or the man is extremely insecure.
That's a different thing.
Exactly.
That's a different scenario.
There are domestic abuse by men who, not necessarily because the woman is provoking them. Exactly.
Yes.
So Laide, tell us.
Yeah, a survivor.
Sister, I'm not a survivor. I'm not even a victim. Now, God save her.
Sorry, no.
I experienced domestic violence in my marriage, and as talkative as I am, Oropo and everything, the exuberance and everything, in that marriage, you know when they say in Yoruba that they will put stone in your mouth and they will find the water. No, they will put water in your mouth. And I was so docile in that marriage. Wow. I used to walk away, but the man used to break down doors and everything to get to me. So it's a case of man or woman, never use your hands on anybody. Because if they beat my son, me that I suffered domestic violence, I can advise my son to deck her so she never tries it again. Yeah. Emotion or no emotion. Yeah. And this is me who experienced domestic violence. Yes. Keep your damn hands to yourself. Yeah. Express whatever you need to do with your words, and then if you can't handle it, walk away. Let everybody take 5. Go into your corner, I go into my corner.
But can I tell you guys a secret? Can I tell you a secret about men?
Okay.
In the moment of strife, moment of tension, do you get some men interpret walking away as aggression?
How?
For the woman to walk away. That's an unreasonable.
So when I'm angry, it's not reasonable. When I'm very angry, when I'm very upset, do you get me now? I want to have a conversation. Yes, I'm upset, do you get? But I'm asking why. Do you get me now? So if you walk away from me at that point, to me, that is a very...
But doesn't that also depend on the aggression? The motion of your asking. Like she said, if you're coming across
let me tell my secret again. I'm sure Stephanie knows this. You see, to calm a woman down is Herculean.
Okay.
I'm coming. Let me my point. To calm a man down is the simplest of things. Women like how? It's very simple now.
Tell me.
Very simple now. See, my daughter Chantal, do you understand me? No matter how upset I am with her, do you get? And I've been upset with her to the point of almost bringing down the roof. Do you get me now? When she goes to party, comes at 2 a.m. Do you get? At 21, a girl enter Uber and cross 3rd Mainland Bridge. And I said to her, I said, if you don't enter the house by 10, don't try it if you come and finish you. And she entered my house at 2 a.m. Do you get me now? At that point, I'm ready to finish her, obliterate her, and submit myself to police. Do you get me now? But as I'm walking down the stairs, in anger, stomping down the stairs towards her, do you get me now? She looks me in my eye. Straight. and says, I'm your favorite child, you can't touch me.
If your wife did that to you, will you?
Yes, if my wife did that, that's even more powerful. If it was my wife that I'm having sex with, does that to me, I'll be weak now.
Okay,
but I'm coming. But women know that. Because they are held on, this conversation will still lead us to role of pastor.
I don't think
role
so.
of pastor
I don't think women know that. See, hold
Women
on.
just
I
bring
don't
out
think
your
when you
breasts.
say women know that. See, I think many times we
They
are.
just won't do it.
See, many times we are moving
Do your worst.
on an assumption.
Because they know that you're not allowed to beat them. Do your worst.
Edgar.
Oh, it's not meaning.
Hold your neck.
Okay, but
But sorry, I'm sorry, man. But just want to say, and if just to emphasize the importance of communication here, that Edgar, there's something that you assume that I know, and it's possible I do not know.
Okay.
And I'm going to use myself as an example, right? So this thing of personally, when I am angry, I keep quiet because. And I'm using this with my husband, for example. Initially, I used to keep quiet because I fear that in the heat of the anger, I would say what I don't want to say. So I go quiet to calm down, to wait for an appropriate time to speak. However, he interpreted that as me giving him the cold treatment. Perspectives.
Yeah.
He interpreted it as a cold treatment, and it now had to be me saying, I am not giving you the cold treatment, I am trying to cool off so that I don't say the wrong thing.
Yes, I agree
and
with you.
another thing is also bringing it back to communication to say what works for you. Because if we are going to work together, we have to agree. I need to tell you,
It's when
Edgar,
you're
I don't
dating
like
that you
it.
should have read
So,
all those
exactly,
terms of
those
engagement.
things, those rules of engagement are not defined. We enter with an idea of love and then get in without defining rules of engagement, and then we begin to war.
Let me ask Laide a question.
Ruth, come to me, Oji.
Let me ask you a question. So that there are a number of women finding distractions outside marriage.
Yes.
Okay? It's become a troubling trend. Are there signs that this trend will abate anytime soon? How can you change this narrative? Because married women now, or some, not all, think that if the man can do it, so can we.
do it.
How do we now begin to change this narrative?
I don't think there's anything you can change about the human species except they want to change it themselves.
Yeah.
We can have a generalization of, oh, it's happening to 60 or 80% of people. Human beings are human beings. Women who go out, for myself, the same way I believe a man is above you, a man can, please let me finish you. Nobody should jump on me. A man can have extramarital affairs and have grace. A woman, in my opinion, never has a reason to step out on her husband, in my opinion. And when women start doing it, they're very crafty with it, and they're more skilled than men.
Oh, yes, of course.
They know how they're snipers when they want to cheat. They know how to get it. Precision is key. But what makes, by the time a woman has decided that if you can do it, I can do it, the respect in the marriage is gone. You might as well just walk out. I also don't understand women that leave their husbands who cheat on them and then go and start dating married men.
Married man. You leave it as the wife to come pick the
Your head has last dent. So the point, no, your head, the last dent. So as in you don't, your mind will not touch ground. You are not placing focus where focus is supposed to be due. The point I'm making is that there's no way you can change any human being. But I can't have a friend who is married and is cheating on her husband and she thinks I'll be cool with it because I know that her husband has cheated on her. I believe that if God gave Solomon the most wisdom in this world and he needed to have 1,000 women to satisfy, by which case, if he was quaffing 3 or 4 every day, he couldn't go around everybody. Men are allowed to please put seedlings everywhere. Women just need one man. If your man is not giving you sex twice. Satisfy yourself. Don't go celibate like Edgar. But the day you decide to step out on your marriage with someone else and think you will find justification, if you were in my courtroom, spiritual, physical, judicial, you are the guilty party, whether they cheated on you or not.
Okay, that's interesting.
Very.
Okay, I want to ask Edgar, this issue of pastors.
Yes.
Many men believe, you don't even sit up. Say,
Pastor, don't vex her.
many men believe that women worship their pastors and put them before them as husbands.
Yes.
What's your take on this?
Very clear.
What?
Very clear. Because pastors take advantage. If you go to churches now, 90% of members is women. Because women are soft, they are here, they're emotional, they are our mothers. Do you get? They are poetic, they are romantic, they are all of that. You get me now? And then women gravitate towards power. Women love power. Do you get me now? So, like me, when I don't know my stage plays, at the end of the play, you say, oh, Edgar, give me your number, it's not for. That's why I see them running around, musician, all of that. So the pastor takes advantage. Pastor says, you see, there's one. You see, you men have lost. Not that I know of. Not that I know of. Because let me tell you something. The pastors, I always tell my younger brothers when they have a problem with their wife. See, pastor does not have experience. Pastor, for all you know, may just be married to only one woman. And the rest are waiting for Bible. Do you get?
And now Holy Mary.
Issues of lesbianism, issues of transsexual, issues all of this is non-concerned.
Pastor.
So if you wake up in the morning, find out that your wife is sleeping with another woman, how will pastor do that?
Pastor,
are you getting me now? See, let me tell you something. One white garment pastor, I don't want him. Every morning, my wife will wake up. I'm in Jesus. You know, very few people, man or woman, have the strength, mental strength, to resist that kind of push. Very few.
Yeah, but people find succor in spirituality.
Well, so that's why they take advantage now. I'm in Jesus. Every day I'm in Jesus. Do you get me now? So the man is now the third leg in my home. Even a very powerful third leg. If I want to touch my wife, I'm coming. Pastor, I want to go to Akure, I'm coming. Pastor, I want to do this, I'm coming. Pastor, are you getting me? We're having family meeting. Pastor is sitting down here.
Your wife is the problem.
You know,
so people have succor, like she said, in religion, not spirituality.
You see, even men fall into this trap. True. But because we're having conversations about this question is about women. Do you get me now? That's what the problem is. Do you get me now? So now, if I heard that pastor now begins to take advantage.
I don't think all of them. Maybe some.
Some, most. When I mean take advantage, it's not in every case. It's not in every case that is sexual advantage.
That was financial. Financial.
Even that sexual advantage, you man go even dey pray say if na only you want that man make that man make you go, because so then we can just turn your wife head.
Your
life become a risk.
It's your wife that has problems.
It's the woman there.
No, you're not getting me.
I see where it's coming from.
It's not the man's fault. I never blame my wife for that. I don't blame any woman for that.
What makes you believe that it is the pastor's fault?
Because it is spiritual. You have been brainwashed. Somebody has used your head. Let me tell you something. When I lost my job, when I lost my job, 1 second please. When I lost my job, there's someone called Nicholas Yamali. He sacked me in this Nigeria, in this Lagos. He sacked me.
And you had to call him out.
Yes, he sacked me. I told him. I said I will continue calling him till I die. He sacked me. Now, when he sacked me, do you get me now? Somebody said, oh, let me take you to a pastor. Do you get me now? That pastor will pray for you to get your job back. I'm vulnerable. I don't have a job. My confidence level is low. I said, okay, let's go and try. My sister, pray you don't have problem in this country.
Amen.
He took me to one place in Mowe. That time Mowe is bush. Mowe, the grass is as high as this. The grass almost covered my jeep. When we emerged in this man's house, this boy's house, because the prophet was a boy. Yes, it was in his 20s. The prophet was 20s, but they say he had powers. Yes. I saw big military officers on the queue, big policemen on the queue, big custom officers on the queue, big businessmen on the queue, waiting to see this boy, this prophet. I call him a boy, waiting to see this boy. Do you understand? So it's not only women. Do you get me now? And we saw, but out of every 5 people, there 4 were women. Do you get me now? You get? So when it got to my turn, the boy looked at me, told me to kneel down. And I knelt down. Do you get? And he put his hand on me, and he prayed for me. And he said that the grace have left me, that I can never get a job again in this life. Yes, I must do 21 days dry fasting.
Did you beat that boy?
I just stood as my brother, I go see you next week. I walk away. Do you get? One last one again about the control of these people now. I had a problem with my wife. Do you get me now? I had a problem with my wife. Yeah, but listen carefully. The problem with my wife. Control of these pastors. Control. And the pastor, and my wife says, the only way she can accept is if that pastor says she should accept.
I said your wife is that problem.
Woman will born 3 children for me. I'm coming. It's happening in thousands of homes. Like some says your wife has problem. So you go let me enter my house when I enter house when I come up for this studio. It's happening to every woman. So we now went to the pastor, this white garment man. And I got there. And I told him, I said, about me beggar. I've offended her. He said, the only way you can agree is for me to lie down let him flog me 7 strokes of the cane.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, this is my life for so. My wife said, listen to man of God.
Man
wife
of
said
God,
to
you.
This is the
I
man
come
of
in,
God.
say, listen to man of God. So I knew this was a charlatan.
Okay.
Do you get me now? I knew that he has stupidly set himself up for destruction. So I said, yeah, beat me. Do you get me now? So I lied down and the man beat me. 7 strokes of the cane. And I stood up and I told the man, I said, this is the last time. Do you get me now? I said, this woman, if you ever come to this place again, do you get me now?
You might as well move in with pastor.
Do you get me now? So I ended up defining that those pastors take advantage of the weakness.
Okay.
And still,
Well,
just
the women's heads
to
were
go,
correct.
okay, just
We are
to
running
influence.
off, so
yeah,
Stephanie, give your last word.
if for anything to just add to that, we should not blame other people for playing a ball when after we have dropped and not take responsibility for dropping the ball.
Yes.
Because when you drop the ball, what we do is pick it up immediately.
Which ball
Instead
was
of us to
dropped
drop, well, I'm talking of dropping a ball, even in this situation of even with the pastor, whatever it is, when the woman steps out of line and realizes that I've done wrong, or even in relationship matter, and we take the wrong course, it's now to say I've done it, stop. Otherwise, we begin to enable, and when people act on how we have enabled them, we begin to complain.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Thank you so much, Edgar, man of the house. Thank you so much, Laide, for this very vibrant conversation that we've had today. Thank you for sharing this with us on Perspectives. You know? So, in stooping to conquer, you have to learn to sit back and understand that not everything needs a reaction. You have to train your minds to be stronger than your emotions. Allowing anger to sit on the back burner would only lead to a very large lead blowing off a very hot pot. Your direction should always be more important than your speed. And always remember, like I keep saying, life is a learning curve. That's all we have time for today. You've been watching Perspectives here on Arise News with me, Ruth Osime. Until next week, by His grace, do stay strong. Goodbye for now.